Well, the other week I snapped my wheel stud. Unfortunately, as I was making some height adjustments to the car, I got to the last wheel and the last nut and was having great difficulty trying to get it off. And I must have threaded it last time that I was making some changes and I took the wheel off. So obviously I wasn't careful enough and I ended up snapping the wheel stud, and now it is encased within the OEM wheel nut. So that's useless. That's not coming out anytime soon. But today I thought it would be cool to recreate the video that I made 6 years ago for the WRX. I made a video called how to replace a wheel stud on a Subaru WRX right here. And yeah, I looked over it the other day and I thought, wow, that is an old video. I was very young and I did not know how to talk to a camera at all. So times have changed. We have made some improvements. But yeah, we're going to be replacing a wheel stud on the BRZ. This also works for an 86. I believe it'll still be the same for a WRX. And you know what, you can probably use this video for a lot of other cars as well, just because they're all pretty much the same, especially if you're going Japanese. Guys, as always, if you found this video helpful or you just like my content, please consider hitting the like button, give me a cheeky comment down below, and subscribing more importantly, because we have lots of content to come this year for the BRZ. I'm very excited, honestly. Got some few good things coming up, don't you worry about that. You can also follow me on my Instagram right there. It is 00lock. Yes, I can't get lock for the life of me. Honestly, that Instagram account's like 12 years old. All right, let's get started. All right, so first of all, I went straight to Subaru and I purchased an OEM wheel stud, and I also purchased an OEM wheel nut. Now, last time I did this for the WRX 6 years ago, these cost around $3.50, $4 each. And today they sent me back $9 each. So shout out to inflation. Thank you very much. I probably didn't have to buy the OEM wheel nut, but I figured stuff it. I want them all to kind of match, and I'll probably replace them like a whole set later on down the track anyways. All right, let's replace this thing. First things first, I'm just going to loosen up the wheel nuts with some WD-40 because I'm being pedantic and I'm not in the mood for snapping another wheel stud. So just in case, I'm just gonna give these a quick little lube and we're gonna wait 5 minutes. Next, we grab out our breaker bar, complete with our ratchet extender and 19mm socket, and we're going to break these. Not break them and strip them, but just loosen them off. That's one, nice. Cool. I am sick of doing this, and I bet you're sick of seeing me do this as well. All right, now that's up on a jack stand, just make sure you have your jack under there as well. Make sure the jack stand is taking majority of the load, and you just got the jack stand under there as like a backup, just in case. So we've got double isolation. All right, safety first. All right. Now, the first thing we have to take off is the brake caliper assembly. It's held on by 2 bolts, which you'll need a 19mm spanner for. So the first bolt is just located on top here. It's going to be this one right here. And the second bolt is going to be this 19mm right here. Don't take off that one. That one is to take off the actual caliper to replace your brake pads. You want the one that's on your rotor right here. There we go, there's the first bolt. There we go, like so. I'm just going to rest it on my suspension, just right there for now. I'm just going to put that there, just so I don't break any of these hydraulic lines. There we go. nice and sturdy. To remove this rotor, basically it's kind of almost pressed on, so we just need to give it a bit of a tap on the side where the metal guard is kind of free behind it. See, we'll just give it a little bit of a friendly tap. There we go. We can remove it like so. So it just slides off like that. There's nothing holding it on. There we go, removed. All right, we're just going to take our new wheel stud here, open that up. Nice freshie, and we're just going to insert it in. Now, obviously you can see that we can insert just the thread, but what happens is it gets caught on this edge here because it tapers off to be a larger diameter, and that's because this is what's called a press fit. You can see we really don't have much room back here to be able to whack it in. We have this knuckle behind here. So this is why we have to do something different. What I'm gonna do is I'm grabbing an open-ended wheel nut. This also works with a washer, but all you need to do is basically fill the gap. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna thread that on, like so. Now what's going to happen is as we thread it on and it gets tighter, it's going to want to force the back of the wheel stud through the hole. So now we can take our nut, our wheel nut, thread that on as well, and we're going to start tightening this. So as we tighten this, it's going to want to pull this wheel stud through the hole. You're going to have to hold the hub and it's going to move because obviously it's rear wheel drive, there's no diff, there's nothing holding it. As you can see, I've been able to just jam it in there about halfway. So it's not flush like this one, but it's not going to go anywhere. So what we're going to do now is we're not going to do it up any further because probably just going to damage something and we don't have an impact gun. So that's fine for now. We're just going to put the brake rotor back on and we're going to start pulling again once we put the brake rotor on. We're going to be able to tighten it up a little bit more because we can kind of grip this rotor here. So we're just going to tighten it up. And that's going to pull it through. You can feel it pull it through. I'm going to just grab a little breaker bar here, little pinch bar, and I'm just going to kind of maneuver it under this rotor. So what's going to happen is that's going to just stay in position there whilst we just crank this a little bit more. Give us an extra millimeter or two. Just crank it down a little bit further. So I've cranked it pretty much as I can by hand using a little bit of leverage, and I've just done a quick measurement between an original stud and our new stud, and we're only about a millimeter or two away from being flush. Now, we're not really going to worry about this too much because what's going to happen is once we put the wheel back on and the car's back on the ground, when we do up the lug nuts, it's going to force that wheel stud to come through anyways, just that other millimeter or two, and it'll be flush with everything else. So honestly, unless you've got an impact gun and you can just really do it up, I wouldn't worry about it too much. We've cranked it as much as we can, and it's obviously going to come through once we tighten those wheel nuts up right at the end. So what we're going to do now is do the reverse order. We're just going to clean up the brake disc, make sure there's no grease and stuff from our fingers, and get it nice and smooth and shiny again. And we'll put the brake caliper back on, and then we can put the wheel back on. I've just grabbed a marker and I've just colored it in black, the new stud, just so when we're putting the wheel back on, we're going to do that one last. And we're just going to keep an eye on it as we're cranking it up and tightening the wheel nut onto the stud. Right, I'm fairly confident that I have not threaded any more wheel studs. We should be good to put this back on the ground. So as you can see, we're pulling it through. Pretty easy when you got the breaker bar or the torque wrench. So we're just going to keep pulling that. Seems to be going good. Gonna get tight now. That should be good. There we go. 110 Newton meters for the lot there. All done. What I would recommend, once this is all complete, just drive the car normally, but in about a week's time, you've done a few kilometers, just make sure you recheck those nuts just to make sure nothing's come loose or anything. Make sure that they're all nice and tight, and you should be good to go from there. Now, if you are an OG of the channel and you have watched this video all the way through, first of all, thank you very much. You know who you are. And I do have a little bit of a secret that I'd like to share with you. If you've been watching the videos previously, I've been trying to figure out what exhaust I want to purchase for the BRZ. And I was tossing and turning between the HKS Spec L and Spec L2 or the NVIDIA Q300. And after a lot of research and seeing people's videos and exhaust setups, I honestly think that the NVIDIA Q300 is going to be the way to go. I honestly really like the sound that comes from the Q300. So when I get back from Japan, I will be ordering the Q300 and we will be doing that install. So there is your little sneak peek for a couple of videos time. Really excited for that because this car looks the part, but it doesn't sound the part. So until then, boys, thank you very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.